Hello, my name is Rafael Luna. I am a program director in the Office of Faculty Affairs at Harvard Medical School, and I'm also an instructor in the Department of Biological Chemistry and Molecular Pharmacology. And in addition to that, I teach courses on the art of scientific storytelling, and I go all over Europe and I go all over the United States, and I teach from my book, The Art of Scientific Storytelling, by me, Rafael Luna. What made me write this book? Actually, I was trying to publish a research article in the journal Cell, and the paper was rejected. And we had leading authors, leading scientists on this research endeavor, and we struggled to combine the messages from this interdisciplinary collaboration between chemists, biologists, geneticists, physicists, and mathematicians and computer science people. How do we take all these disparate research enterprises and combine them into one logical narrative for publication? And so I Googled the scientific storytelling and something to help scientists write their research manuscripts. And on Google, I was surprised to find none. And so I felt that I could do a good job at that. I have a strong background in narratives. So then what we developed was a scientific storytelling hypothesis, where we squeeze in the protagonist, antagonist, conflict, scene, resolution, and stakes into a scientific storytelling hypothesis. When we dilate this into an energy of activation curve, which is our dramatic arc, and we prepare a whole research manuscripts using this method. This method has actually changed the way we do research, because not only does it help us write papers and manuscripts, but it helps us know when to stop writing a manuscript. When we're struggling with that last figure, what we do now is, once the hypothesis is substantiated, then we know the story's over. And if we need more data and we need to include more research aspects of this for this manuscript, then perhaps we reconsider in a different lens and question, does this data, does it actually belong in this story, in this narrative, or does it belong in its own separate narrative? And so we know how to end manuscripts quickly, and we're able to publish a lot more papers now. And the way we do it, and we can end stories, which is, I found, is invaluable. So the people I work with, faculty members, postdocs, and graduate students from all over the world, the United States and Europe, now are publishing a lot more in high impact journals. And I've seen manuscripts that use this method been published in Nature, Cell Reports, Nature Communications, Agavante Chemie, PNAS, and so you name it, these papers are getting published, and they're all using this method of the art of scientific storytelling, which is found in this book. And so, and the key to scientific storytelling is that it's invisible. So if you go to a movie and see that the dramatic arc, then probably the movie is not that good. But the same thing with research. If it's so apparent that there's a narrative, then perhaps the research manuscript isn't constructed in a way that's actually really effective, communicating the best possible research story or scientific story. As a 2015 Keystone Symposium Fellow, it's a distinct pleasure and honor to be associated with the Keystone Symposia, the #1 premier symposia across the world. And if I had to give any advice to young trainees and that are pursuing a science career, I would say yes, do excellent in all your academic coursework in science, all types of sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, definitely computer science now as well is very important, mathematics, but also really develop a strong and robust background in the humanities with a lot of literature courses, because this is going to help you with the narratives. Once you can understand the data processing, which is requisite for even understanding science and how to observe science and how to measure it and how to really analyze it, but how do you actually share that data with others that are peers and also that are not your peers? You really need to, literature background really helps you with that. So I would encourage everyone that do mentors that get a strong background in the humanities and in literature, because that would really help you to talk about your science to others and to your peers. And so that's what I recommend for my mentees. How to select, to keep, retain, or discard a mentor. Let's start with the first one, how to select a mentor. This is very key and could be critical to your success. There's no one, I've never met anyone that made it on their own bootstraps in the scientific realm. There's always been someone that's been an advocate, that's been a mentor, that's actually helped them throughout their career. But let's not construe the role of a mentor and the mentee, because in order to really have a good mentor, then the mentee really should be working very hard, harder than the mentor could ever do for the mentee. So the mentee really needs to be very proactive in pursuing the relationship with mentors and pursue many mentors in different facets. Not just one mentor fits them all. So what I would say is that you would want to find a multiple of mentors in different areas of expertise and sometimes overlapping, so that way you can really help and have a bit of a scientific advisory committee for different aspects of your life, so in your scientific career. And also, how would you keep your mentors? And that just needs to be very active. So the most important thing is the follow-up. You need to follow up with your mentors, let them know how you're doing during the holidays, send them postcards, send them cards, let them know that when you publish a paper, send them the PDF and say, hey, this is the paper I just published. And not to the point where it requires for them to do action, but at least to let them know that you're really actively engaging in this enterprise of mentorship. And then that would hopefully get them to be engaged as well. And it ends up in a win-win scenario. And how do you discard mentors? I'm under the belief that people aren't disposable and you really shouldn't discard. But I think at the same time, I would spend most of my efforts on mentors where things could be fruitful, and not just in the scientific aspect or in the networking, but just in overall developing as a better human being. And you should be around mentors with high integrity and high upstanding citizens in the community, and that give back into the community as well. There should be evidence of these mentors doing stuff, not just publishing papers. Just because they publish 500 papers doesn't mean that they'll be a great mentor. But if someone publishes 300 manuscripts and also works in the community and perhaps also is engaged in mentoring and underrepresented minorities, then maybe this person might be a better mentor because they're able to connect. And so these are the people that you want to really touch bases with and develop and learn how did they become successful. Sometimes there are underrepresented minorities, but given the reality of the very few underrepresented minorities and that are in the scientific field and their bandwidth, you may need to reach out to others that are not underrepresented minorities to serve as mentors. And so I would just be open that mentors come in all shapes, sizes, colors, genders, and backgrounds. So that way you could just be open, and the more that you input that you can get from different sources of mentorship, the better you can be as an individual. So I would say look at it from just an attractive part of really doing your best to go out into the world and have a diversified opinion and a cohort of just mentors imparting unto you where you can make a scientific and rational decision on what's your best course of action in the future. But at the most important part, just enjoy the relationships and enjoy going out and meeting, connecting with people. And I think the mentorship would take care of itself. Well, enjoy finding your mentor and keeping them and retaining them, and just enjoy being propelled for academic success. Thank you very much. And if you haven't applied for the Keystone Symposia Fellows, I absolutely recommend that you do that and you go for it, because this has opened up so many doors for me, and I wish that this could also open up doors for others that come behind me. And if you need to contact me, please contact me at Rafael, Rafael at hms.harvard.edu. And definitely connect with the people at the Keystone Symposia Fellows and Dr. Eileen Ricks and Nick Duo. And I think they would be fantastic people to really reach out and enjoy mentoring. Thank you and goodbye.